Do you have an air fryer? Cooking in an air fryer is perfect if you are vegan, whole food, plant-based because it makes cooking without oil so much easier. You can just throw in these potatoes or whatever it is that you want into the air fryer and they're crisp and perfect without oil. It is awesome. It's basically like a little mini oven and you can do all the things that you can do in your regular oven, but a lot faster and with a lot less oil. I'm gonna show you 3 super simple, easy recipes that you can make in your air fryer today. Let's first make taquitos in the air fryer. We'll add about 1 cup frozen corn. Then this is 2 cans of black beans, and then a can of chopped green chilies, and then 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, and 1 tablespoon of taco seasoning. Now I'm mixing everything up with a potato masher just to kind of get things a little bit more squishy so that it's easier to fold it all into the tortillas. You could also just do a couple of rounds in your food processor if that's easier. Warm up your corn tortillas in the microwave so that they are easier to work with, and then we'll fill the filling and roll them up. Seam down. Okay, I have my first round of taquitos. I'll put those in the oven. I have my air fryer set to 450 and these should be done in about 10 minutes. While those are cooking, I wanted to show you that I made more with just regular flour tortillas because I ran out of corn tortillas. But if you like flour instead of corn, you can definitely use these instead. It has been about 8 minutes and they actually look done. 8 minutes, oh yeah, they're starting to get a little fried on the outside. And I'll put in the flour ones for about 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. Flour ones were done even faster. It only took about 5 minutes. I'm gonna try it with my favorite Goya salsa. So easy, fast, just like a perfect quick dinner. This is really good. Can I tell you a secret? The best way to make tofu is actually in your air fryer. So let's go ahead and make a tofu dinner in the air fryer. You will first want to press your tofu. You want to get out the extra liquid. I have a tofu press, but if you don't, you can always just squeeze it on your own with something flat on top and something flat on bottom. I love this tofu press that I got on Amazon. While we wait for the tofu to press, we'll make potatoes in the microwave. We want the potatoes to already be cooked before we add them to the air fryer. So I'll put them in the microwave for 5 minutes. I'm also going to chop up some zucchini and yellow squash to add to my air fryer with the tofu and potatoes. All right, after just a couple minutes, the tofu is now ready, so you'll carefully pull it out. And tofu has a very neutral texture, but the good thing about that is it will absorb any type of flavor that you put into it. So we'll cut it up into pieces first, and then it will be easier to absorb the rest of the flavor when it's in smaller pieces. So I put the tofu in a bowl and I'm adding 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. I want to mix up that flavor a little bit so that it's evenly distributed amongst all of the pieces of tofu. If you feel like you need a little dash more, that's okay, just so that everything has a little bit of that brown color. Then I'll add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and we'll mix that up as well. And then last but not least, this is what's going to help make it crunchy. It is 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. We'll kind of mix all of that around. If you don't have nutritional yeast or if you're avoiding nutritional yeast for any reason, you can use cornstarch instead. Okay, so we put the tofu in the basket, put it in our air fryer, and then we put it in at about 400 degrees for about 8 to 10 minutes. I'll pull it out and check on it. In the meantime, let's get the veggies ready. My potatoes are done, and I'm just gonna chop these up into fries. To season, I'm going to use the veggie rub from the Traeger veggie rub to just season up those veggies, and then we'll put everything in the air fryer. Look at how perfect and crispy and delicious. And now it's time to put the veggies in. For the veggies, I'm doing a little bit hotter at 450 for about 8 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, look at that. This can be a super simple dinner or even snacks to leave out on the counter for your kids when they come home from school. Next, we'll make tostadas. Tostadas are a go-to in our home. They're simple, they're perfect. The kids can choose which toppings they put on it. And I have a super secret awesome sauce that goes with it. You'll take 2 corn tortillas, Most people will put refried beans on your tostadas, and those are great. They actually taste wonderful, but I like to use hummus. It just has a neutral flavor, and it's really easy to add the other ingredients, and they'll stick to the tostada with the hummus on there, just like they would with refried beans. But I think hummus instead of refried beans is a great little tip. After the hummus, I'll add a variety of toppings. Usually it's corn and beans. All of my kids will eat that. So if anything else, this is a meal that everyone will eat. But for my other eaters who are not as picky, we add some more toppings. We'll add some tomatoes and some cilantro. And we're gonna cook this at 400 degrees for about anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna check on it after 5 minutes. We'll put the tostadas on your tray and put them in. While the tostadas are cooking, I'm going to make a delicious salsa cashew-based dressing. It's so good. I'm actually going to double the recipe so that we can have extra. We will add a cup of cashews to our blender with half of a cup of water. Next is a half of a cup of salsa. Any jarred salsa works. Do 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a half a teaspoon of oregano, 2 cloves of garlic, and then a half of a teaspoon of salt. And we'll blend everything together. Now, as soon as those tostadas are done, I'm going to chop up this mango and just sprinkle it on top. It's so good with a little bit of sweetness. It's my secret ingredient. Okay, this ended up taking 5 minutes, and it's perfect. I'll sprinkle on some mangoes. Next, we'll put the salsa into, some of the salsa into a little baggie. Spread that delicious sauce on top, and you have the perfect tostada of all time. Get this deliciousness, so good. Okay, we're here for the taste test. I have my daughter's friend, Penny, who has never even tried cashews. Her brother's allergic, so we are far from her brother, and she is going to try this delicious tostada. Tell me what you think. The mango on top is so good. Between 1 and 10, what would you rate this?
A 9.
Yes. This is also really good with red onions, but I didn't want to scare our little friend here too fast. But this is, add red onions, you can add purple cabbage, you can add so many things to these, just whatever you have on hand. If you like these air fryer recipes, make sure to check out our other slow cooker or pressure cooker recipes as well. You will love cooking this way. It's fast, it's easy, and I'm all about easy and fast.